So I wanted to talk about something that I never thought I'd come across, and this was relevant to the relapse that I had in 2017 and some of the things that I went through during that relapse. So I'm actually going to link down below of my multiple sclerosis journey for those of you who haven't checked it out and would like to check it out, because maybe this video would make more sense to you, I don't know. So basically, in 2017, when I was having my relapse and I was unable to walk for basically the moment I stood up, I applied for the summer job. And the summer job was to work in a daycare with children. And I was aware that there was going to be field trips and I was going to have a hard time walking on these field trips, yet I still applied for the summer job. So basically what happened was I went to about 3 or 4 field trips, and guys, I had the hardest time. I was still able to help out, right? But I had the hardest time on a personal level because I was going through a relapse and no one was aware of that because I never told anyone. So eventually I told my manager, and she was aware of the things multiple sclerosis does to people. So she even told me, she was like, how she would still like me to work if I can, and if I can just stick to the preschoolers, because with the preschoolers they never really went on field trips, whereas the school-age children, which was basically the class I was with, would always go on field trips. And these field trips involved a lot of walking, in which I couldn't do, right? So after my 3rd or 4th field trip, I told my manager, and she told me to stick with the preschoolers. And she was being so supportive about it too. So overall, that job was honestly the best job I probably ever had, only because the kids were so sweet, the staff were amazing, and it was just a really nice place to be working in. However, because I was going through a relapse in 2017, I wasn't able to value the job as much as I wish I could had, because I was going through a relapse and I was going through something that was just, I guess in a sense, kind of like controlling my life, where I just didn't know how to enjoy anything anymore, right? So I was applying for a summer job the other day, and I wasn't a fan of any of the jobs, and if I'm to be completely honest with you, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do when school's done for me. I get my degree in 2020 once I'm done, but I don't know what I'm going to do yet, and I have come across this one idea. But I also won't get into that yet because I don't know how that's going to plan out or if it's going to be successful. And yeah, so meanwhile, I wanted to apply for a summer job, right? And this was just about a week ago, I would say. And I just couldn't find a summer job that I wanted to be at. And I would tell my sister, and I even told my dad about this. And both of them actually have told me at different times how I should just go back to the same summer job I had in 2017. But for some reason, guys, I felt so defeated every single time when my sister and my dad mentioned to go back to that job. I just felt so defeated. And I think it was because I felt like I wasn't performing my best, in which I surprisingly was. And my manager, when I actually talked to her, she told me how she would love to have me back. So basically, I didn't know what kind of summer job I wanted for this summer, right? When I was looking online, I came across that same summer job. And guys, I was looking at that screen for about 5 minutes, not doing anything, just looking at the screen. It was as if a flashback came back to me of all the difficulties I had at this job, but not because this job was hard. This job was a really easy job. But because I was going through a relapse and because I was unable to do many of the things that other people were able to do around me, just made me feel so defeated. I was just staring at the screen and I was like, I would never do this job again. I can't do that to myself. But the more and more I thought about it, I was like, Pri, you're eating so much better now. You're walking so much better now. Your double vision is nearly gone. And it's what do you have to lose at this point? If you were able to do it while you were having a relapse, why can't you do the summer job again? And just kind of I don't know, the way I thought about it was, if I joined the summer job again, I would just look at things from a different lens, like literally a different lens, pun intended, because right now I feel like my double vision is pretty much gone. Whereas in 2017, everything would just move like this and I would just get really frustrated. So once I asked myself that, I was like, you know what, maybe I should apply for this job. Like guys, for me personally, I do not believe in God, but I do believe that things happen for a reason. And I told myself, I was like, if the manager gets back to you, it's happening for a reason, right? So I was like, you know what, let me just apply for this job. Let me just email the manager and whatever. So I sent her an email. I was like, I applied for the summer job in 2017 and I really loved it. And basically how I would love to join again kind of thing, right? And then I even said, I hope to hear from you soon kind of thing. And guys, not even a minute later, she gets back to me and tells me to call her. And the moment I read this email where she's like, call me as soon as you can, I was like, oh my God, is this really happening right now? Like, I don't get it. So I called her and she answered. She honestly asked me so many questions with my multiple sclerosis. And guys, it took me by surprise because I was like, it's been 2 years. I was surprised she even remembered that, right? And she was aware that obviously I had multiple sclerosis, and I was going through a relapse at the time as well. Asking me how much better I was doing now, and I was telling her, I was like so positive too. I was like, honestly, I'm doing so much better. I'm walking so much better. I can walk for longer periods of time. I'm not having a relapse. I've been on infusions for about a year now, and I'm just doing great, right? And this was really good. So for me personally, as I was telling her this, it was as if I grew more passion for wanting to work for this job or work at this job for the summer, right? And basically I wrote down the things that I was thinking because I knew I'd forget about it in this video. This job, I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, so let me just think about the pros and cons of starting this job again. For cons, honestly guys, I didn't have much. Like, yes, I have a little bit of a worry that what if I have a relapse again, because I don't know when my relapse will happen. But at the same time, as I've mentioned in my previous videos, I have control of this. Like, if I eat better and I do better, I can control the amount of times I actually have a relapse, because if I actually take care of myself, it's not going to happen. I don't think it would. And if it does, then it does, but I'm not going to beat myself up over it, right? So I was thinking about it. I was like, how would I feel after starting this job? So I was thinking about it and I was like, oh my God, it would actually make me feel like tearing up, because I remember when the little kids would always ask me to play tag with them, and I'd always say no, because first of all, I wasn't even able to walk properly. So for them to ask me to run, I was like, I'm not running, right? Like, it's like, I was a very sweet person. I just never really get cranky with kids because I love working with them. Like, they honestly put a smile on my face. But, yeah, so once I start this job, I will feel really good, right? Like, because I wasn't able to play tag with the kids in 2017, guys, that would make me feel so defeated. I would feel so bad because I wasn't able to run. But I obviously didn't know how to tell the kids that, right? Like, the kids probably just thought I was lazy, but I wasn't lazy. I just really couldn't do it. So I would often tell them that, you know what, I broke my leg or whatever. And they knew I was lying, but I think they eventually picked up the fact that, okay, maybe something's up. And I remember in 2017, I would always let that defeat me, because I would always let that beat me up, because I always felt bad, because I love playing with kids, right? And it's like, for me personally, because I wasn't able to do that, I just felt really bad, and I just felt like I couldn't do something that a little kid was asking me to do. But 2019, you bet I'm going to be playing tag with these kids. I'm going to play tag with these kids. I'm going to run around. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. I'm probably not. But you know what? I'm going to try and see how things go for me, because I feel like I'm doing better now, and I want to try to run. I want to try to do all of these things I never thought I'd do before, and this is just one of those things, right? Like, especially going vegan. I never thought I'd go vegan. Like, if you asked me 2 years ago at this time, I'd be like, no. But I'm a vegan now, and I love it. Walking from that bus stop to that workplace, guys, it used to take me 20 minutes to walk that distance. I actually went there on Friday to pick up some forms, and that 20-minute walk that it used to take me only took me 6 minutes that Google Maps said it would take me. And I was so shocked. I was just like, what? I did this? Like, it was so crazy. Like, just joining this job again, I just know that I will be able to do so much more now than I was able to do in 2017 working at the same job. And it's crazy. It's so crazy, but I want to do it to show myself that I haven't given up on myself yet, because I actually haven't. And I want to prove it to myself by going back to the same job that I struggled with in 2017, because I feel like I can do it. I feel like I can play tag with these kids. I feel like I could run around with them, and I'm going to do it. And guys, I'm terrified. If I'd be honest with you, I'm so terrified, because I mentioned in a few of my videos how the weather outside usually controls the way I'm doing, in the sense that if it's too cold or if it's really hot, my body just kind of like, I don't know what it is. It's like it kind of gives up on me. But with that being said, I only felt like it would always do that when I didn't eat enough. So my diet always played a role in this, and because I'm eating so much better now, I feel like I can do this, guys. I feel like I can do this, and I know when I'm back at this job, I'm going to feel so proud of myself for finishing the job when I do, and finishing it successfully in a way, because though I finished this job in 2017 without having to quit halfway, going back to this job now and finishing it now is just going to mean more to me, because I'm going to be able to do the things I was not able to do in 2017 at the job. And I won't feel broken again. Like, yes, I'm saying I won't feel broken, and I know for those of you who also have MS probably hate me for saying that, but I'm only saying that in the sense where that's how I felt in 2017, and I'm going to feel so proud of myself. Reflecting back on this job, I wanted to also do it again to kind of just be more self-aware of how much better I'm doing now in terms of my walking, in terms of my vision, in terms of my balance, and my bladder has been improving, especially with cutting out sugar for the most part and just eating better too. It's been helping a lot. There was this post on Instagram that I literally screenshotted because it was actually a good saying. It was like something along the lines where it was like, how do you answer the question, how are you doing, when you forgot what normal feels like? And it's like, it just really hit me, because I was like, that's exactly how I feel right now, and I'm not going to let that defeat me. I'm going to continue living my life and live it the way how I used to live it, except live it even better by eating better and doing better, right? And I actually wrote something down in here. I couldn't stare at the camera and say it to you guys because I wanted to read it straight off of this book. Because I know 5 or maybe even 10 years from now when I'm reading this, I'm going to feel so proud of myself, and I'm going to be so surprised that I even did it. But this is what I wrote. I wrote, I wanted to do the summer job again, to just be self-aware of how much better I'm doing now as opposed to 2017. So the girl who once upon a time had difficulty walking to class, who had the ability to work full-time with kids in 2017 while having a relapse, is now going back to the same summer job to start and finish the job as I wish to had. And I just know when I read that in 2030, I don't even know how you would even say it 10 years from now, but I'm going to feel so shocked that I even wrote that, and I even lived by that. So yeah, I'm really excited to start this job again and just see where it takes me, and I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, so that's pretty much it to my video. Thanks for listening to me, and thanks for watching this video if you stuck around. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. Follow my blog. Follow me on Instagram. And I'll put a link down below for all of them so you guys can check it out. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.